Today we're going to talk a little bit about the equipment that we use, and some of the things I may be asking you to get in terms of leashes, harnesses, and walking items. So just a quick overview of some different terms. There, you may hear that we don't use any choke, prong, or shock collars. I do not have any prong or shock collars on, but usually everyone knows what those mean. The shock collars, they sometimes are called an e-collar or stim collar, a vibrating collar, that kind of thing. They have a little box on the neck. So we don't use those. We don't do prong or pinch collars, which have little kind of studs in them on the inside that are designed to pull and pinch at the skin as your dog pulls. So we don't use either of those. And then the third one we don't use is actually what I have on this stuffed dog. Bob is my demo dog for reactive dogs. We use them sometimes. This is a slip collar. There are very few exceptions for where I would use this. It's used a lot in rescues for dogs who get out of things easily or who can't be handled safely to put on a harness. You could use a slip collar. It's sometimes called a slip collar, sometimes it's called a choke collar. Basically, the reason we don't use this is that it will continue to keep tightening and tightening and tightening as the dog pulls, and there's nothing to stop it from literally choking the dog. So it's why we don't use it. But if there is a situation where there is a big concern about the dog running away, or safety, then this is something that would be used. And I just use it on Bob here, just because it's easy to kind of move him around. You'll see too, when people use it for training, they put it up right by the neck and the ears, and they will often pop they do a leash pop or a correction, they might call it, where they provide pressure right here on the dog. And you can see that's just what it does. But I just use it for moving him around, and I keep it in my car for when I run into stray dogs, which happens all the time to me. I'm always finding people's dogs who have slipped out of their yard and that kind of thing. So this is, again, a safer way to loop a dog that you don't know, that you're not sure how they will react, instead of going up and grabbing their collar, which can be a really sensitive place for a lot of dogs. So those are the things that we don't use. Now onto the things we do use. The first thing we really do use, and of course I don't have one on me, is your regular 6-foot flat lead. That's your standard leash. Those are, the most essential tool in your toolbox, really. And everyone kind of knows what they are. Next we have long lines. I love using long lines. There will be a video coming up for you guys soon on why we use long lines, when we use long line walks, and their benefits. I also have lots of blog posts about it, so definitely check those out. Your long lines, nylon, just like your regular leash, is a pretty normal material for it. You can get them from 10 feet all the way to really 50, and even some are 100 feet. I usually recommend people stick right around the 20 to 30 foot. And even a 10-foot leash is really great if you can safely use that on your just regular walks and replacing a 6-foot lead. But we can get into more of that later. Feel free to ask me questions about that, about when to use it and how to safely use it. But this is your basic nylon one. They're very inexpensive. A lot of times they're called training leads. You can use it to work on your recalls and all kinds of things. Or swimming. I love to use them for swimming. You can attach it to a dog, let them go swimming, and you still have one end of it in case they were to get too tired. You can pull them back in. I started with nylon ones, and now I advise everyone buy this. This is also a long line. This is a Biothane long line. So you can't feel it obviously, but this is a nice rubbery material. There is a nylon leash inside of here, and it's all coated in this rubbery material. There's several reasons I like this. They don't knot nearly as easily And when they do knot, they're extremely easy to untangle. They don't get those really tight knots. They also clean very easily. You can dump them in a bucket of a bleach solution if you were to have your long line go through poop or something, which has happened. This material is also great if you get caught unexpected and you have a long line like run across your hands like this. It's very easy to get a burn. These have a much better grip and are less likely to burn you than the nylon one. The nylon one is not as easy to grip. If there's a dog pulling it, it slides right through your hands, and I have absolutely burned myself straight across my hands with that. So the Biothane is more expensive. They last a crazy long time. They don't also in our area. There's a lot of times like dogs will end up going in marshes and pretty stinky areas, and these don't absorb smell, which is brilliant. It's just, buy the Biothane. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's worth every penny. Okay, so now onto harnesses. This is a tool that I really don't prefer we use. A lot of people have them, and at first it was touted as a really great tool to stop your dog from pulling without really needing an extra harness. It's called a leash harness combo, or this one has a brand name on it. What is this one called? It is called the Harness Lead, and the basic premise of it is that you slip one side over their head. I'm doing this wrong. Oh, here, this one's supposed to go over the head. One side over their head, and then this secondary loop goes around their belly. I believe I've got this backwards. It's supposed to go the other way. It's tough to put on a stuffed dog. Here. Let's see. So it's also touted to be easier to put on, which, as you can tell, I do not find that. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. So it goes around here, around the belly. You put this through the loop here. You have a little rubber stopper right here to make sure that it stays tight. It really looks like a nice, great tool, but there is a significant problem that has been found with it, and that is it uses tension on your dog's stomach and ribs, their chest area. It tightens when they pull. That's what's getting you that no pull activity, and dogs can seriously injure themselves. It's not good to be putting that much pressure on the organs, just like we've learned we don't want to be doing it around their necks anymore. We really don't want to do it on the rib cages either. They could absolutely break a rib if they're running full force at something. Now, obviously that is more on the extreme side, but even still, long-term pressure, I mean, think about how easy it would be to bruise their ribs. We would never have any idea of any way of knowing that. It's just really not something you want to mess with. So if you have these, get rid of them. Even though it says harness, it's a slip lead around your dog's rib cage. So we're not going to use it. Now, onto things we do use. One of the most common harnesses we see that everyone gets because they say they stop pulling, and any harness that says it stops pulling is lying. It may help out with the no pulling for a little bit. It's okay, Sharona. It's okay. It's all right. But the only long-term solution for pulling is to teach your dog how to walk on a loose leash. So this one is called the Easy Walk, and it's really easy to put on, which I love. There are some really great benefits to it. It's easy to put on, they're inexpensive, you can get some fun colors sometimes, but there's a few downsides to it. The first one is that they're very easy to escape. If a dog learns that they can back out, I can't do it on this dog, but my dog can back out of it. They can slip one leg up and back through here and pull their way right out of it. So for that reason, if you are using an Easy Walk, I always recommend that you clip the leash. Where's a leash clip here? You take this D-ring, and you clip this D-ring to the D-ring on their collar. It just gives you a little bit of extra backup. Now this dog, I don't have a collar on this dog. Maybe I should put one on him, but that would give you a double attachment. Another common problem with these Easy Walks is that they are not fitted properly. Do you see how this one hangs low? I see dogs walking all the time out in public where this chest strap is hanging down below their legs. That can cause serious joint issues. It can cause shoulder problems. It's just really not good. They can trip over themselves, and it's not effective. You're just really messing with your dog's gait. You can cause them serious problems, and that's not an exaggeration. That's not something that is a rare occurrence. It's actually pretty common with these. So that's another reason why I like to actually clip this up to the collar, because it does help to hold it up above the shoulders. But if you're noticing that this is coming down, this crossbar is coming down below your dog's shoulders, you're gonna wanna readjust it, which you would do by tightening the top one, maybe loosening the bottom. This actually is not properly fitted on this dog because it's a stuffed dog. So sometimes you're gonna keep this crossbar the same length. This one I'm having to loosen to try to show you an appropriate fit. Let's get this. There are a lot of adjustment points on this too, which does make it helpful. And then this one is as loose as it goes, and then I would tighten this one up here. And obviously you may have to take it off of your dog to do this. But these crosses right here, these connection points, should really be past your dog's shoulder. They should be back here. And that just allows free movement of their shoulders, which is so important. The other thing that I have seen, it was pretty common with dogs wearing an Easy Walk, is irritation and scabbing in this like armpit area. So keep an eye out for that. They call it the Deluxe Easy Walk, which has some extra padding, but ideally you're not gonna have that friction there. It can't be comfortable for them. So that might be a clue that you need a different harness for your dog. So my favorite harness is this one. A lot of people think it looks a little scary in the beginning. It can be confusing to put on at first. This is called the Freedom Harness. Sharona's perking up because it's her harness and she's getting excited. So this one goes over your dog's head, and then there's 2 clips around the belly. And it comes with a leash. Let me grab it. This one, it comes with a leash that actually connects on 2 parts of the harness. There is a clip here, there's a D-ring here, and there's a D-ring up here. So when you're working on loose leash walking, or if you have a reactive, lungy, barky dog, which is originally why I got them, you clip this here and here, and so you have control of your dog's entire torso. He's falling over. You have control over their whole torso. So if you have a big, strong dog who is barking and lunging like Sharona used to, this tool is a lifesaver. It can stop your dog from knocking you over completely. Come lay down, please. Come lay down. Life with dogs. Now that Sharona's better. So again, you want to make sure it's properly fitted. This crossbar here should go above your dog's shoulders. This one does seem to be better padded back here and a little bit further back. So I haven't seen anyone actually have that rubbing and chafing here on the armpit area. And with any harness or collar, you want to make sure that you can get 2 fingers underneath safely and comfortably, but not much more than that. So you want to make sure it's tight enough. And again, these crossing sections should be as far back as you can get them, which means making this side longer and this side shorter. But I think that's everything for harnesses and leashes. If you are looking at another harness or leash, or if you already have one and don't want to go buy another one, you can feel free to send it to me. And we can even do a harness fitting on your dogs if you have one that you already have. we can just remind me our next session and we'll go over it, and we'll kind of check it out, and I'll give you some tips if I can, or see if it's fit right, or let you know where there are some problem areas I would be worried about. But that's it for today, and I'll see you soon.